Now this question, I mean, it has been asked numerous times in interviews again. So there is an array, integer array of size n, and what you have to do is you have to check if there is a subarray with sum 0. So if there is a subarray in the array with sum equals to 0, then you have to return true, and if it is not there, then you have to return false. What would be the brute force approach for this? I think the brute force approach should be to simply check the sum of all the subarrays, isn't it? Yeah. You can simply check sum of all the subarrays, and if there is any subarray with sum 0, you can return true. What will be the time complexity of that approach? N squared, right? So in that approach, you will do something like this, correct? Your I will go from 0 to n minus 1. So I marks the starting point of your subarray, and within this, your j will go from I to n minus 1. So your j marks the end point of your subarray. Now you have to find the sum from here to here. So will you write a separate loop inside this to find the sum from here to here? Will you write a separate loop? Yes, no? No, it's not required, right? What will you do? Can somebody suggest me what to do instead of writing a separate loop? Because it is already n square. It is already n square. If you write one more loop, it will be n cube. So what is it that you would like to do? Any ideas? Can I use some pre-processing and get my job done? Yes, because if I have prefix sums with me, then the sum from I to j will be psj minus psi minus 1. And if this sum is equal to 0, then I can return true. But tell me one thing, in this approach, you are using some extra space, yes or no? Yes or no? You are using some extra space. And what is the space complexity? It is order n. Can I cut it down to order 1? It is, very much, using simple common sense. What you can do is, let's say this was your array, and you have inspected all the subarrays starting from here, and now you are inspecting the subarrays starting from here. So first you will consider this much, then you will consider this much, then you will consider this much. So if you know the sum of this much, then the sum of this much can be known in order 1 time. So for that, what will you do? Before starting this inner loop, you will initialize the sum to 0. Okay, and in every iteration of inner loop, you will do sum plus equals to a of j. So what happens? For a particular value of I and particular value of j, this sum would contain the sum from I to j. And here you check if the sum is 0, then you return true. Simple, common sense, right? Cool. But I want you to solve this in order n time. So let us just try to understand this thing. I did not give you an example, let me give you that. Let's say you have 6 minus 1, 2, 1 minus 1. What will be the answer for this case? Will it be true or will it be false? Okay, true. Can you tell me what elements constitute your subarray? So if I just talk about the portion from here to here, yeah, then it has a sum of 0. So in this case, the answer should be true. Cool. So now how do I solve for this problem? So how is prefix sum going to help over here? That I am going to tell you. So every one of you do something, write prefix sums below these. The prefix sum till here is 6, till here it is 5, till here it is 7, till here it is 8, and till here it is 7. Did you observe that this prefix sum repeated till here? It repeated, right? See, just now we did one thing. What did we do? We said that if I have to find sum from I to j, then it is prefix sum till j minus prefix sum till I minus 1. Yes or no? We did this. And if this has to be 0, then I equated this to 0. This equation can be rewritten in this form. Psj equals to psi minus 1. So if there is a subarray with sum 0, then a prefix sum must repeat. So if a prefix sum repeats, it definitely means that there is a subarray. I'm not sure which is that subarray. I can be sure also by using some other techniques. But one thing which I am sure of is, it's guaranteed that the subarray from let's say if it was 7 over here and it is 7 over here, then the portion from here to here should have a sum which is equal to 0. So this was the main approach over here. See, another way to understand it is something like this. Let's say the sum from here till here was S, and let's say the sum from here to here, which is this, was also S. Okay, so can I say that the sum of this big thing, which is S, will be sum of this plus sum of this? Can I say it? Yes, no, can I say it? Yeah. So it will be S plus something X. What will be X? X will definitely be 0. So this portion will definitely be 0. So if a prefix sum happened at index k and the same prefix sum happened at k dash, then can you tell me from which index to which index the subarray will lie, which will have a sum 0? Can you tell me the indices? Will it be from k to k dash, or will it be from k plus 1 to k dash? Yes, very good. It will be from k plus 1 to k dash. So can you implement this? How many of you can implement this logic? Will you use a map? Okay, what will you store in the map? So by that question I mean, let's say you have a map. It will have some key and some value. What will your key be? What will your key be? Your key will be prefix sum. Very good. And what will be your value? Your value can be anything. Does it matter whether it is a frequency or anything? You simply want to check whether a particular prefix sum, which is your key, acted as a key before or not. So you can just use the last approach where you were populating the map during the traversal itself. You are populating the map during the traversal itself. So if you use that technique, then you don't have to make your code dirty. You don't need a frequency or something like that. Okay, so you can just check in your map whether a particular key already exists or not. If it exists, then you can immediately return true. So what you can do is you can initialize your prefix sum to 0 and then just iterate over the array from 0 to n minus 1, and then you update your prefix sum. Okay, what will you do first? Will you first check whether the map has this prefix sum or not, or will you first insert this prefix sum in the map? You will first check, because if you insert it and then check, it will automatically be there. So that is a stupid thing to do, right? So the first thing you will do is whether it had come before or not. So if you see that map dot contains prefix sum, if map contains this prefix sum, then you have got to return 1. Okay, otherwise what will you do? If this prefix sum came for the first time, then what is it that you will do? Then you should simply store it in the map. Very good. Then you should simply store it in the map. So you should do map dot insert prefix sum, and it can be anything, 1 or 0, whatever it is. I have a question over here. Let's say I have an input which looks like 1, 2, 3, minus 6. What should be the answer for this case? Should it be true? Should it be false? What should it be? Yeah, very good. It should be true. And can you tell me which subarray are you talking about? Are you talking about the entire array? Yes. Okay, use this code, dry run on this code and see if this code will return true or false. So of course, if this for loop could not return 1, finally I'll return 0, saying false. So if you run this thing using this, it will return false. Very good. Why? Because the prefix sums that I am going to get is 1, 3, 6, 0. Did any repetition happen? Okay, can somebody tell me, can somebody use some intuition and tell me why it did not happen? Why it did not happen? Because I did not take into account the sum of, the prefix sum of empty subarray. There is an empty prefix also, right? There is an empty prefix also, and that empty prefix has a sum of 0. So you have to take that also into consideration. So before running this loop, once you have initialized this, you have to do map.insert this 0 as well with 1. I've seen many people, faltering on this in their interviews also. Okay, so do not do that. Whenever you are declaring a map, so you'll be very happy once you have thought this and this. People become very happy after thinking this and this. But they miss out on this. So what is this? This is the initialization step of map. So always think, do I have to initialize this map? Do I have to initialize this map? The way sometimes you have to initialize your array, right? Yes or no? Sometimes to solve a question, you have to initialize all the elements of array to 5 or to 10 or to 1 or to -1. Similarly, sometimes you have to initialize your map before you do your actual processing.